April brings us Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the USC campus has already started. Hear more from Trojan students who say yes means yes.
A group of Trojan students dropped a banner at Campus Center in hopes of freezing tuition. Find out what they are demanding of the university.
Follow me, I will lead you.
And a prayer service was held on campus to honor former USC President Stephen Sample. Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
Students are trying to combat sexual assault on college campuses. Good evening, I'm Suji Nam.
And I'm Scott Cook. Some on campus say the university is not doing enough for victims of sexual assault. Annenberg Media's very own Caroline Dicely talked with students about the Yes Means Yes campaign. She now joins us live from the Media Center. Caroline.
Thanks, Scott. USG began a Yes Means Yes photo booth campaign this week to kick off Sexual Assault Awareness Month that begins in April. But one victim thinks the university should be doing much more to help students.
Photo campaign is just conversation. This is a very small step into changing ideas and thoughts.
This photo booth campaign is just one of the many USG initiatives part of Sexual Assault Awareness Month that begins this April, an issue that is all too real for some USC students.
Personally, during my experience, I felt very alone. I didn't know anyone that had been assaulted, and I can't even put into words the experience I went through.
According to the USC Campus Climate Survey, nearly 30% of female undergraduate students reported being sexually assaulted here at USC. The university says back in 2014, they doubled the size of the USC Center for Women and Men and hired a Title IX coordinator. But one activist and victim says more can be done.
I haven't, in my experience, seen with the university anything changing or anything getting better.
Paige's sexual assault did not happen here, but she's focused her activism on improving resources to help victims. She says she's met others who aren't satisfied with the university's response either.
Time and time again that people have gone and tried to trust the university to help them in times of need, and they have been dealt with completely inappropriately, and it scarred them.
Paige believes change won't happen until more people are educated about the seriousness of the issue.
All of this stems from just a complete ignorance to what sexual assault is and how much it can affect people and how it is a crime, period. That's it.
We reached out to the university for a response, and it pointed us to the scheduled events for Sexual Assault Awareness Week that begins on April 11th. These events include a question and answer session with the Los Angeles District Attorney and a screening of The Hunting Ground, a documentary investigating rapes on college campuses. Suji, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Caroline. A prayer service was held today in remembrance of former USC President Stephen Sample.
Follow me, I will lead you home.
And we say in the words of Dr. Sample, isn't it a great day to be a Trojan?
I ask our religious leaders to join me.
And dozens of friends and family gathered at Tommy Trojan to mourn the loss of the 19-year president who died yesterday.
Stephen B. Sample has left a lasting legacy on our university, on our Trojan family, our community, and on American higher education as a whole.
He's affected everybody that he comes in contact with, and watching him go through this horrible illness has been very painful for everybody. So.
During his tenure as president, Sample helped catapult USC into a top educational institution and a fundraising powerhouse. He also taught a leadership course for a select group of students.
He totally transformed USC. He took USC from something that some people were embarrassed by to one of the preeminent universities in the country. I think he was somebody who was very, very smart, somebody who was funny, had a dry sense of humor, and somebody who who clearly cared a lot about the school as an institution. Stephen Sample taught us that every individual leader should follow their passion and can make it happen.
Sample served as the president of the University of Buffalo from 1982 until 1991 before leaving to become the 10th president here at USC.
Well, today, students unfurled a banner at Campus Center to protest a tuition hike that makes USC one of the most expensive schools in the country.
We think that it's unfair that tuition hikes go up every year without any transparency about where the money is going, and so this is one of the events we've been putting together to protest that. Well, our three demands are a tuition freeze, student involvement in these decisions by way of a student trustee, and also transparency about where the money is going.
Starting in the fall, students will pay more than $51,000 for tuition alone. USC's student government recently proposed a resolution asking for a tuition freeze.
Tonight, Republican candidate Ted Cruz will be a guest on the late-night comedy show Jimmy Kimmel Live as a part of a campaign swing through Southern California. According to a new poll by Marquette University, Cruz is ahead of Trump in the Wisconsin primary with 40% of the vote to Trump's 30%. The Wisconsin primary is on April 5th. Today, Donald Trump made a controversial statement about abortion.
You believe in punishment for abortion, yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
Late today, Trump's campaign revised his statement about abortion, saying the billionaire believes abortion providers and not their patients should be the ones who are punished. Moving on now to the Democratic candidates, Hillary Clinton was in New York today tackling the issue of racism in America.
Our diversity is a strength, not a weakness. And together we can face down the worst.
Her opponent Bernie Sanders campaigned in Wisconsin. He called out billionaires for their influence on the election.
Billionaires are able to buy elections. That is not democracy. That is oligarchy, and we have got to stop that.
The Marquette University poll shows Sanders and Clinton are close with 49% and 45% of the vote.
Well, the tables have turned in the battle between Apple and the FBI. Apple is now asking the government to reveal how it cracked the code on the iPhone belonging to San Bernardino shooter Saeed Farouk. The FBI is showing no interest in telling the tech giant how it skirted the phone's passcode feature. Apple is concerned about security issues that could affect millions of devices. Former city councilman Bill Rosendahl died today after a 4-year battle with cancer. He was 70 years old. Rosendahl made history by becoming the first openly gay man to serve in the Los Angeles City Council. He advocated for homeless rights, LGBT rights, and other liberal causes. Those close to him say he was an opinionated and an eccentric man. Earlier, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti spoke about Rosendahl. He said, quote, "Today, Los Angeles and the world lost a giant of social justice, and I lost a wonderful friend. He had the biggest heart I know, and I will miss him deeply." Arrangements for a funeral and a memorial service are still pending.
The Los Angeles City Council tentatively approved revisions to a law today that would now allow a homeless person to keep as much as a 60-gallon bin's worth of items on the street. Under the revisions, it would be against the law for a homeless person to refuse to take down encampments during the day. It would also be a misdemeanor if a homeless person tries to prevent a city employee from removing personal belongings on public property.
It doesn't matter what an ordinance says on paper, it's about what's going on physically, and what's going on physically is a total disrespect, and they're just criminalizing homelessness. It's in this ordinance, in the paperwork, that, the homeless folks have to put their possessions inside of a trash can. I don't care how they try to explain away a trash bin, a bin, whatever. At the end of the day, it's a trash can.
The city attorneys say the law is necessary to keep sidewalks accessible. Others believe it criminalizes homelessness. The vote was not unanimous, so the city council will take up the issue again next week. The Los Angeles City Council declared today Dr. Lucy Jones Day. Jones is a renowned seismologist retiring from the U.S. Geological Survey after talking about earthquakes for 33 years. Jones is widely known for her earthquake expertise. She has spent years educating the public about earthquakes and recently worked with Mayor Eric Garcetti to help fill in the information gap between lawmakers and science.
The work that she has done will have aftershocks that will affect all of us for generations to come.
Thanks to her, millions of Californians know the worst thing to do in an earthquake is try to run. Jones says she plans on building a scientific center to connect scientists with policymakers.
A USC professor was awarded a $7 million grant for his outstanding work in cancer research. We'll talk to him live in the studio after the break.
Plus, local veterans today gathered to celebrate the 50-year anniversary of the Vietnam War. One vet shares his thoughts next.
And the oldest part of downtown LA is just about 5 miles away. Find out why your next adventure should be to the historic Olvera Street.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Today in the studio, we have USC Professor Jay Jung, who is the director of the USC Institute for Emerging Pathogens and Immune Diseases, and also a recipient of the National Cancer Institute's Outstanding Investigator Award. Professor Jung, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Great. So can you please tell us more about your role at the Keck Medicine School?
I'm a distinguished professor and department chair of molecular microbiology and immunology department at the Keck Medical School.
Okay, great. And first and foremost, congratulations for your award. Can you tell us more about this Outstanding Investigator Award and what does it entail?
That Outstanding Investigator Award is actually initiated by National Institute of Cancer, and they actually targeted that investigator who already achieved that number of aspects in cancer research. So they wanted to dedicate that us to research for more in cancer field for long-term direction.
And how long are the grants for, and how much are they giving you for that?
Yeah, it is about that 7 years, and each year is about $1 million of that research funding.
Great. And how do you feel about that as someone who is so prominent in the field today?
First of all, I don't have to write a grant another 7 years, and then, but on the other hand, it is a kind of giving me that the responsibility, which we're working with at the cancer study, and especially working with that the virus-induced cancer field. So giving me the opportunity to study this field more.
And can you tell us more about the disease that you're currently researching on? What is it about? What is it?
So we are working with the virus-induced cancer. In fact, human cancer, about 15 to 20% are caused by viruses. Particularly, we are working with the Kaposi sarcoma, which is a skin cancer. And for example, Tom Hanks in Philadelphia movie, he died with a Kaposi sarcoma, which is now this is the major cancer in Africa, especially that HIV positive individuals.
Okay, and just to wrap things up, what are some of your goals that you'd like to reach in the next few years here?
So we are continuously working with this virus, how this virus causing a Kaposi sarcoma, and especially we ultimately develop that vaccine and drug to prevent this Kaposi sarcoma development.
Okay, great. Well, I wish you the best of luck and congratulations again. Okay. So today we had Professor Jung joining us in ATVN today. Thank you again. Let's toss it back to you, Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Uji, and thank you, Professor Jung. The Vietnam War ended 50 years ago today. Los Angeles veterans celebrated the anniversary at Bob Hope Patriotic Hall.
A day we can all stand tall and say, I am a Vietnam veteran.
Guest speakers and a keynote presentation displaying images of soldiers during the war.
I came back, I landed at Logan Airport, went to see my family. That was it. They were happy to see me, of course, you know, all that wonderful thing. It's 1,000,000% better. I don't want to ever hear anybody say, you have a homeless veteran. Everybody is trying to take care of the vets. Never again shall a veteran not take care of a fellow veteran.
While some veterans were welcomed home with open arms, others came home to name-calling and even violence. Veterans today are working hard to make sure soldiers returning home are shown nothing but gratitude.
Scott, this week has been a little chilly, don't you think?
That's funny you say that, Suji, because I've actually been a little warm this week. I thought spring had
Really?
sprung, but what do I know? I'm just here wearing makeup. Let's send it over to our weather anchor, Hannah Vega, who has the forecast. Hannah.
With Suji, I think it's been a little bit SoCal cool. So if you're wondering if the weather will continue to be nice and breezy, we're going to head over to see what our fair conditions are. They're fair, 71 degrees, 73% humidity. Find out what tomorrow's forecast is going to look like. We're going to head east. Looks like it's going to be. You're going to look at the east side. Yeah, west side, 70 degrees. North Ridge and Simi Valley. Looking over to central, Anaheim's going to be 69 degrees, USC 68 degrees. Now for your 5-day forecast, as you can see, it's going to be partly cloudy some days, mostly sunny the rest, 74 degrees on Saturday. Earlier today, I hung out in a special place close to downtown. In 1781, Spanish King Carlos III issued a land grant to establish Los Angeles. This here is the place where LA was founded. This is El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de los Ángeles. Now it's most commonly known as Calle Olvera or Olvera Street. Angelinos like Patrick Marshall grew up visiting this place.
It was cheap fun when we were teenagers. You could come down here with $2 or $3 and a girl. The girls were amazed, okay, because we took them out of Hollywood. I got to like the food down here at Cielito Linda's. And it's fabulous. They've got taquitos to die for.
Cielito Lindo's has been around since 1934, but there is a house that's even older. A Villa Adobe is almost 200 years old. You can also see a mural painted by one of Mexico's Los Tres Grandes, David Alfaro Siqueiros. The mural was deemed too radical. It was painted over 2 months after it was finished, but now visitors can see the original painting. Olvera Street is so rich. There are so many things that I got to see and that you just have to go there. And I didn't get a chance to eat, so now I'm craving Mexican food like crazy. What are some of your guys' favorite dishes?
Well, actually, funny you mentioned that, Hannah. Suji and I were about to go to a Mexican place down the street after this.
It's actually called Chichen Itza. Have you been?
It's so good. It's one of the best. Jonathan Gold even names it on his list.
I really like their fish tacos. Have you tried? We need to go. Let's
Yeah,
go get fish
fabulous
tacos after
fish
this.
tacos. I know we're a day past Taco Tuesday, but hey, Taco Wednesday is a new
Taco
up-and-coming
Wednesday
thing,
can
huh?
work. I like that idea, Scott. Let's do it. Let's make it a plan.
Let's do it.
Well, thank you, Hannah, for sharing about that. A new report on women and girls in California shows they're making progress in business. But the report by Mount St. Mary's University also reveals some concerns about mental health among college students.
As a women's university, we were motivated to produce this report because we all need to understand the challenges women and girls face today in leadership, health and economic well-being, as well as promote solutions.
The percent of women entering college who say they feel overwhelmed is 10% higher than in 2009. Teen pregnancy has dropped from 40% in 2007 to 25%, and nearly half of California firms are now owned or co-owned by women. Well, Scott, I hear there's some cool things happening in sports.
Yeah, Suji, you know, there's lots of drama in Lakerland. And, well, first of all, I hope there's no snitching here on campus. Let's throw it over to our sports anchor, Natalie Calabat, who can catch us up with all of USC sports.
A Lakers rookie definitely made a rookie mistake. He may not be forgiven. What could have been Coach Hub's 100th win turned out to be a blowout for the Trojan baseball team. And the undefeated women's lacrosse team hopes to continue to make history. All this and more coming right up here in sports. Don't move a muscle.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Welcome back to ATVN. Last night was a tough loss over at Dado Field for men's baseball. The men of Troy fell 8-0 to Loyola Marymount. In sports, sometimes you just have an off day. That's just simply how it is sometimes. Unfortunately, that was the case for men's baseball last night. The men of Troy struggled both offensively and in their pitching. They just couldn't get guys on bases.
We have another series this weekend, so best thing about baseball is there's always more games to be played. So we just got to shake this one off and worry about the future.
One positive for the Trojans, senior outfielder Timmy Robinson was named Pac-12 Baseball Player of the Week. Way to go, Timmy. Hopefully the team can get that 100th win for Coach Hubbs this weekend. Last night would have been Coach Hubbs' 100th win, but maybe the team can make up for it this weekend against Stanford. The 3-game series kicks off Friday at 7 p.m. in NorCal. The number 27 Women of Troy tennis team are off to the Mountain States this weekend as they try to keep their Pac-12 start perfect. This past weekend, the team swept Oregon 7-0. The women of Troy have a 3-0 record in the conference and are riding a 5-match win streak as they head off to Utah and Colorado. Standout senior Juju Almos and sophomore Gabby Smith led USC at the #1 spot. The pair is ranked number 8 in the country in doubles and they are coming off of a sweep of Oregon. After their road trip, the women of Troy will host next week the Arizona schools. And onto the volleyball courts, men's volleyball looks to host UCSD, number 14 UCI, in their final home match of 2016. The Trojan seniors will be recognized after their UCI match on Sunday. The Trojans are going to say goodbye to 4 seniors, outside hitter Alex Slott, ace leader with 18 Libero Brooks Venari, who leads the Trojans with 152 digs, and middle blockers Josh Kirchner and Tommy Leonard, who certainly contribute with their blocks and on offense. The Trojans are 6-16 overall and 4-14 in the MPSF conference, ranked in 10th place. 2 wins over the weekend would keep the hope alive for the last-minute spot in the playoffs. Things are hot right now for women's lacrosse. The women of Troy still hold an undefeated record. This is the best start the team has had in 4 years of their whole history. We spoke with the women of Troy about contending for a national championship.
I've always had the belief that, the girls that are on this team right now are really special. They bought into something before there was something even to buy into, and I think that's been, the goal for everybody.
It's really exciting, but we're also just trying not to think about that right now, taking it one step at a time, because we have a lot of, hurdles to cover as the season goes on. So taking it one day at a time, one game at a time right now.
One step at a time. The ladies hope to extend their winning streak to 10 games against Fresno State this Thursday at 5 p.m. While the LA Lakers are already dealing with a losing record, tensions in the locker room seem to be on the decline. A video recorded by D'Angelo Russell, surfaced of a private conversation between teammate Nick Young and Russell. According to a Lakers beat reporter, trust with Russell in the locker room has plummeted. Last night, Twitter was buzzing about the rookie's big mistake. Iggy Azalea, Young's fiance, joined in on the trend saying, I see D'Angelo Russell is trending. I actually liked his film. Thanks, bro. This week for Natalie's Notables, I'm highlighting 3 track stars for their outstanding performances at the Power Conference Cardinal and Gold Challenge. Senior stud Jade Stepter won the women's 400-meter dash with a national leading time and school record of 50.91. Football standout Adoree Jackson won the men's long with a leap of faith, jumping 25 feet, 10 3/4 inches. Sophomore standout Morgan won the men's 400-meter dash with a time of 45.54, 1 second away from a personal best. So, Scott, you ran track at UCLA.
Scott, you did.
What are your thoughts on this here at USC?
First of all, Natalie, I like to keep that off the record here in Trojan land. But, you know, Jade Stepter, huge performance last weekend. I was lucky enough to be there with my partner, Cindy Robinson. We've been covering track all season long. And let me tell you, the Trojans, they're going to make some noise in nationals this year. Jade Stepter, potential Olympian, so we'll keep our eyes out for her.
That's awesome. So exciting.
Thank you, Natalie.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, television news often generates great bloopers.
We'll show you what happened to a sports anchor on live TV when we come back.
The earthquakes you see in movies are one thing, but real life is a completely different animal. Just because you can't predict an earthquake doesn't mean that you can't prepare for one. In the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake and practice what to do to keep you and your family safe in the event of a real earthquake. And you'll be seen as a hero by your family and your loved ones.
Visit ready.gov/earthquake today.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's up? What's happening today?
Let's do those pearly whites, man.
Yeah. The boys, check it. Yeah. Stand up, do my chair is gonna compare us. Go.
Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
One of the best parts about live TV is that literally anything can happen, even falling asleep on camera. Check out this viral video where an ESPN reporter appears to be falling asleep on the job.
It says that even Oscar Robertson, we mentioned this earlier, can compare to his season. Do you agree?